In my dreams, I'm beautiful and bad. Hi everybody, it's Brittany Hile, Taryn Cosplayer, and Nightmare Obsessed. And you are listening to Elm Street Radio.
Welcome back to Elm Street Radio. This is Paige and
Diandra.
And in today's episode, we talk with amazing cosplayer of Taryn from Dream Warriors, Rick Johnson lover, and all-around badass Brittany Hile. But before we get into that, let's do a little FredHead's update. We recently launched our Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, and we are so appreciative of all the love and support that you guys have been sending our way. Have you guys gone over and checked out the amazing perks that you get for when you donate to our crowdfunding? Keep in mind that we're going to be updating the perks and adding more things as time goes on. We also launched our extended teaser trailer and our official poster. You still have time to donate, you still have time to submit, and you still have time to share and help share others' stories. Speaking of which, you guys should head on over to facebook.com/FredHeadsDoc and share your story with us, because this documentary is really about the fans, and it's about all of you, and it's your story, and it's our story. Now, let's head into Weston Hills, turn up the volume on that dockin', and enter the Dream Warriors land.
Okay, asshole. Let's dance!
Please welcome to Elm Street Radio, Brittany Hile. Welcome, Brittany.
Hi!
Hello,
everybody.
It's so awesome to have you. I'm doing fabulous. How are you
doing?
Well, thank you for having me, too, so...
Well, heck yeah.
I have to say, we're like big fans of you, Brittany. We're like,
stop.
Because you're hot.
Well, I mean, I kind of like consider you guys like my company. So, I mean, you keep good company, right? So we're kind of we're all on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, amen to that. So, for everybody who I'm sure has seen your lovely photo through the Elm Street Radio costume contest, you put together, now let me get this straight, it was kind of like a, hey, let me see what I have in my closet, let me put my hair into an updo and just basically pull off Taryn like better than anybody else. Is that correct?
You're kind of correct. That was actually a wig, though. That is not my real hair.
What? That was a wig? You just blew my mind.
Well, like her braid. You know how Taryn's got like the little like braid / dreadlock looking things that hang down. That's my real hair. But yes, the actual mohawk. I mean, that's all a wig. And let me tell you, if I ever cosplay like officially as Taryn, the outfit will be 1,000 times better because it will be like legit, and I want to use my real hair. But me being a non-hairstylist, I would have had no idea how to have done that. So,
but that looked amazing. I'm like Paige. I didn't know that was a wig. I couldn't even tell at all. I know you said you were trying to hide a bun, but I couldn't even see the bun.
Yeah, because I had like it's literally just a strip. Like the sides are obviously my real hair, but that it's literally just a mohawk strip that hooks into your regular hair. So I like had it bobby pinned, and it's all like wobbly and stuff. So there's no way I would actually be able to wear that out. But I just wanted to do it for fun. Like I love makeup. I love dressing up. And I was like, well, how cool would it be to do like a whole month of like different looks? And obviously me being a huge Taryn fan, I really, really wanted to do something really quick, like for her. So literally that's a black t-shirt that I'm wearing, like a black v-neck, and the studded bra went underneath of it, because even though she doesn't have a studded bra, I seen that and I'm like, this screams. Like I was like literally digging through my closet and I'm like, dude, this like, I had it like 3 years ago. I'm like, this screams Taryn. And the patches, the little patches for her shoulder pad thingies, I did buy those. I found those on Etsy, randomly scrolling. and everything I already had the gloves. I already had that choker, believe it or not. So everything just, I don't know, it just came together. So, and I couldn't believe like the response. I'm still to the, like, I'm like, really? Is it really that good? Like, that's just the kind of person I
so
like.
good.
So
It
you
was so
cosplayed
good.
you cosplayed as Taryn, but that methodology was like so Nancy.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Being super
And I do.
resourceful.
I love Nancy. I just.
What is it about
What's that?
Taryn that made you want to cosplay Taryn? Because I know I've seen all the kinds of people that you've cosplayed, and of course they're all badasses. So, what is it about Taryn that stands out to you? Because everybody has a story about a character that they love, and it takes a lot of effort to cosplay, even if you just throw it together. Like you know enough about that character and you care enough to put the effort into it.
Absolutely, you're right. I think part of it is because I've never seen a Taryn costume except for one time, and that was at Horror Hound Indy 2015, and that was when I actually met Jennifer Rubin as well for the first time. And there was only one Taryn cosplayer, and she looked awesome. She looked phenomenal. She did, and her costume looked exact, and I was just like, oh my God, how amazing is this? But Taryn, the character Taryn, I feel like she kind of resonates with me personally. Like, I remember being a little girl, and Dream Warriors was the very first horror movie I'd ever seen, and it was my very first, obviously, Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And Taryn was like, just like, I guess what you said, like, she's just so badass. Like, I love her transition too. It's almost like a kind of like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Like when you're watching Dream Warriors, she's so like when you see her in the hallway for the very first time, head down, right? And doctor's like, hey, you're not looking so hot, kid. And just, you don't even hear a word from her, right? And then slowly throughout the rest of the movie, she has more of a voice. She's got more of a voice. And then all of a sudden, she's this beautiful and bad chick, right? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just something about, like I said, something about her transition and her being so, like, in your face to Freddy also. And there's been a few characters like that. But to me, just for me, Taryn, like, I just watched her as a little girl, like a rock star. You know what I mean? Like, that's to me what she was. She was like, oh my God, like, look at this chick. She's got a mohawk. She's wearing all black. She's got knives, and it's like totally different than like Kristen, and it's different than Nancy. And I love all of those women. But Taryn just sticks out to me.
Taryn's strong. I feel like she has that, like you said, like that inner quality. Like she was kind of like a little mousy and a little afraid and was like, don't come near me. She was like a little damaged, and like we're all damaged, right? And so like
right, yeah.
She was like a little damaged. And then here comes Nancy showing them that like, no, you have this inner voice, this inner power, embrace it. And she like embraced it and killed it. And she's one of the like the most intriguing characters because of her backstory. Because her backstory is so raw and rough and real. Out of all of them, she, I think, is the one who's dealing with the most. And I love that, like, that's who you like picked to like resonate with, because it's that overcoming your fear and your past and allowing it to really shine through.
Absolutely.
Now, okay, so I remember at Scarefest, we were talking about costuming, and you were talking all about your love for Taryn. And you're like, I think I'm just going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. What made you decide to do that? It was like a month long, right? Where you did like a costume each week, or was it every couple of days? I remember just seeing a ton of costumes from you. What made you finally just be like, okay, I'm going to do a costume every so many, I'm going to do a costume. What made you do that?
Because I have so many ideas. I have so many different costumes and makeup looks that I like want to try. And this year was my first year experimenting with like latex and, all that good stuff. It kind of started last year because I was Tiffany from Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, you killed that too.
I was like, this is so much fun. I'm like, I can go get a wig, and I'm like, and the rest, a lot of it just relies on makeup, and it allows me to practice makeup because I've that's one of my passions is doing makeup in general, whether it be, beauty or costumey or whatever. So it's given me a lot of practice too. And I just thought like, this would be so fun to do. I did a look every weekend, I believe is what I did, just on my free time, on my day off. And, like I said, I have so many, and I still have a lot more that I want to do. And I'm like, what a perfect time. I'm like, I'll just do it all throughout October. And, like, it's fun. It's just a lot of fun to me.
Do you have any other costumes that you think you might do? Do you think you're actually going to bring Taryn to a convention? Like you said, you're going to be doing some more stuff with her. Are we going to see Taryn sometime soon? Or are we going to see your makeup skills of another Nightmare character coming out in the near future?
Yes. Actually I want to meet Jen again because, we have a very cool story. But she is just amazing. And that picture, the pictures I sent into you guys, they're kind of outdated except for my Taryn one, but I love those pictures. Like I've only met Robert one time and that was 2013. So that picture is very old, but I cherish it. And it's my only photo with him. And then, the one with Jen is from 2015. So I need some updated pictures with them guys, but, those are the ones that I wanted to have for my photo collage thing. But yeah, like I want to do a legit full Taryn costume. Like I want one made to look exactly like hers. I don't know who I can get to do that, but I will start looking into it because I think that she will be at Indy for Days of the Dead, maybe? I can't remember. And I kind of want to do a gender bend for Rick.
Oh, that'd be so freaking cool. Holy F, that'd be amazing. Sorry. Whoa, no, calm down there. That's awesome.
And I like Debbie. I love Debbie also. I think Debbie would be really cool to do.
Would you do her in the cockroach, like with the cockroach arms, or would you do just like her
I don't know.
Freaking awesome? You should walk around with like some pork rinds and just eat them in a bag.
Right. Get like a little fake cockroach.
And then call people Needle Dick. Be like, hey, yo, Needle Dick.
Right. I need a Sheila though. I
love it.
But yeah, I would love to. Yeah. I mean, there's so many. I mean, when we think about it, guys, like the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise to me is one reason why it's special is because of the characters. They're so standout. They're so different than Friday the 13th. And Halloween, and I love those series, don't get me wrong, I do, but it's just, there's something that stands out about Nightmare on Elm Street, and it separates, not just Freddy, but like I said, the characters. I feel like they put, man, and they're so creative, everybody behind Nightmare on Elm Street, God love them, right? I mean, how, like I said, I can sit here and name off so many characters with qualities that I love, and so yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling now at this point.
No. You know what? I also feel like I wonder like if you feel the same way too, that like the Nightmare franchise, I think one of the reasons why it resonates with so many people also is because of the community itself. I feel like our community is one of the strongest communities. I don't really know a whole lot about like the Halloween franchise or the Jason franchise. I don't know if their community is as strong as ours, but from what I've seen, I don't believe so. I feel like the Nightmare community in itself is just so strong, and just everyone like just loves each other in a sense. It's like one big like happy like 1970s hippie compound. Like we all just kind of love each other.
Yeah.
And, I feel like that's what also makes it.
I completely agree. I mean, like I said, I was kind of trying to go into it on my live video yesterday with the whole story with Jennifer Rubin. Honestly, because of her, I met two of my absolute best friends, and they live in Chicago. And Bob and Sandy, Sandy was her handler at the 2015 Horror Hound Indy. And I struck up a conversation with her because we were wearing like the same shirt. It had like the skull on it. And or she was wearing it. I'm sorry, she was wearing it, and I was like, oh my God, I got the same shirt. Like, I just randomly passed her in the hallway. And she's like, oh no, are you kidding me? You better wear it tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. We just started talking. And she was like, yeah, I'll be at Jen's table and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like the first person that I want to meet. You know, it was Jennifer. And it's insane that a movie leads into an interest of conventions, which leads into you going and meeting these celebrities, which leads into you meeting awesome friends. Like, it's like a domino, you know, it's like a domino effect. And it's because of Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, let's be honest, it is because of that. And Jennifer was just, oh my God, I can't fangirl enough about her, seriously, because she made me feel like instant connection. She actually gave me a pair of earrings, which I still have. She had 2 pairs of earrings at her table. They're little skulls. And she gave them to me on Sunday, the day before, or right before I left. I had come up and said bye to her. And I was like shaking, you know, like being a fangirl. And she was like, you know what? You get one of these. And Sandy ended up getting the other pair. And it's just stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. And because of her, I got like one of the coolest selfies of all time with Rodney Eastman and Ricky Dean Logan because of her, because she pulled them into our picture.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that was only my 3rd convention too. So you can imagine, like me, I'm like, is this really happening right now? Like, oh my gosh.
Teach me, I must be dreaming. And it's not just because these people are in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, this is for real. So who was the first person from Nightmare that you met? Who?
Robert.
Oh my God. How was that? Okay, so you started at the top. Like,
oh yeah.
So what was that like, meeting the man?
Oh man, that was, once again, I mean, that's one of my top experiences, you know, fan experiences. And I'll tell you what, my dad and my mom both used to joke, you would marry him if you could, wouldn't you? You'd marry Freddy Krueger. This is me at, 7, 8 years old. And I'm like, probably, yeah. You know, but so actually getting to meet him, that was only my 2nd convention, because that was Indie Horror Hound 2013. So that was only my 2nd convention, and I actually ran into him in the hallway. We checked in Thursday night. He was walking by himself. I was by myself checking in. My husband, my boyfriend at the time, was parking the car, and I was inside checking in, and I about crapped myself, just casually walking by, and I'll never forget what he said. He's seen me freaking out, right? I didn't say anything, but I'm like, I kind of go like that, right? And he's like, I'm gonna gut this bitch in Pretty Boy.
Oh my God.
That was my official introduction to Mr. Robert Englund, and I geeked out, fangirled, probably about fainted. And I'm one of those people where I'm like, I don't want to bother him. You know what I mean? I just was like, oh my God, and I like left it at that. Like, I didn't want to go stalk him down and beg for a selfie and you know what I mean? Like, talk his ear off. I'm like, he probably just got in. He wants to probably relax, but I wouldn't hold anything else around, just me and him. And then I met him the next day, officially at his table, and I can't gush enough about him either, because he just takes his time, for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? No rushing. No, it's so personalized, and it's so such a great experience. And I can't gush enough about the guy, but I need to meet him again.
I love that with Robert. He's like, you could be like, man, I just got a new pillow, and he'd be like, I had a pillow once. It was made of Egyptian cotton. It was Egyptian, which, back in the day, the Egyptians used to sleep on this luscious plant. And you'd be like, what the F? But I'm going to listen to this because you're Robert Englund, and this story is so fascinating. How the hell did you even learn this? Like, that man must just be a wealth of knowledge. Just sit him in a room with a camera and be like, bread. go, and then watch that train of thought take off. Because, okay, not to throw her under the bus or something, but like Heather once said something along the lines, Paige, I swear to God you were there. And she's like, every time you have Robert on a panel, you just can't get in a word in edgewise, because he's always up there and he's like, yes, that one time. And then before you know it, like the windbag, it just took off. There he goes. Good luck catching up. But
I think they've all said that, where like they just like go to talk and then he'll be talking and they just like stare at him. And they're just they agree. They're like then be a part of the audience, because he can talk, and his stories are so interesting. Like they're just so fascinating and so interesting. And don't they call it? Doesn't Heather call it like the Robert Englund effect?
I think so, something like that.
It's something along that line of where he just is so interesting to just be around. And I know the three of us like discussed like a little like quirkiness, that like how like we all were kind of like attracted to Freddie. Like,
yeah, we're the freaks.
we're the freaks. Like,
and it's funny that you bring that up, because I just remembered at Scarefest. Okay, when I say meet him again, I mean like officially. Okay, like at his table. No, like I want more stuff signed. Yeah, I want more stuff signed. I want more pictures. But no, I totally Scarefest. Oh my God! Like Saturday night, we were at the bar, and of course he was down there, and Andras is down there, and I don't know. It was pretty late, so I think it might have just been them two, a couple other maybe handlers or something. And I just took a seat right over next to Andras, because we all know how I feel about him. And, we're just babbling away, and he's another one that I like to gush about too, because it's not very many people you can talk to about sleep paralysis, and we got into a very in-depth conversation about that in 2015. But anyway, so we were talking, and this is at Scarefest, and we casually make our way out to the hallway because the bar closed. So it's like 1:30, 2 in the morning at this point. Then Danny Hassel comes walking in. So Danny Hassel comes over and joins us. And then, so it's me, my husband, Danny Hassel, and Andras Jones. And we're all just babbling, talking. And Robert is now walking out with a glass of wine in hand, casually just going up to his, his room. And he's with, I'm guessing, a security of some sort. It was a guy that was like breathing down his neck, though. I'm like, okay. But, and he stopped. He stopped and talked to Andras. And then all of a sudden, guys, like you said, I don't know how, but we started talking about Chicago and plays. And it like went on for a half hour. And I'm just standing there. And I'm like, okay, Brittany, try and remember what we're all talking about here. And you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like 2 in the morning, everybody's tired. And yeah, he took the time to stop. And even though he, you know what I mean? Like he could have just went right up to his room, but man, like, God, you can tell there's just such appreciation from everybody. I've
heard the best stories about people like getting phone calls from him and him like thanking them, which is to me some of the most incredible. Like, who does that? I don't even know most people who do that in general, to pick up the phone and say, thank you so much for your time. But like even people that he barely knows, it
shows
incredible.
Character.
It does.
It does. Character.
So just go ahead, Paige.
I was going to say, it just shows that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, it just goes to show you that it's like, here we are. It's, eons later, right? It's, 35 years later, 40 years later, whatever. And this guy is just still going at it, right? Going to these conventions, and he's hanging out, and he's just such a people person. And I feel like that connects with fans so much more, as opposed to just, obviously if you're in the bar area, right, at a convention, you're going to expect people to come to you,
Right.
I mean, certain celebrities won't do that. Like, certain celebrities won't do that. Like after convention hours, they're back in their room, and, you can tell, like, okay, hey, they don't want to be bothered, and that's fine. But to see some of these guys down here mingling, like I said, like if you had told me when I was 10 years old that I would be casually making conversation at these conventions with these people, like no big deal, I'd be like, you're crazy. There's no way, you're crazy. But
So that's like a perfect segue into what I was going to bring up. So there's like a little unknown fact that I don't think anyone knows. I don't even know if Diandra knows this, but we dropped our teaser for FredHeads, and in it, Andras talks about the fandom, and he says, you get an email from somebody and they tell you that you're important and they mean something to you, and it makes you have to be like a higher standard. He was talking about you because you had just said to him, like, I messaged you on MySpace a long time ago, and I just wanted to make sure that it was you, and you were like, of course it's me. Why wouldn't it be me? Who would impersonate me? And he didn't realize how important he was to like pop culture. But after that made such like an impact on him that like he made sure to bring it up during his interview, talking about how people reach out to you and tell you that you're important, and so he referenced that, and that's a little unknown fact that most people don't know, but that was about you.
Oh, you guys just made my night. You should see him. I'm like grinning ear to ear because he is such a flippin' cool guy. I mean, besides being hot, and pretty, but you talk about, like that was crazy. That was so funny. I mean, that was like in like, oh my God, 2005 maybe. I'm thinking around that time frame, and I did. Like, I was like, hey, I wonder who I'll use as MySpace. I was like brand new to it, and I found him, and I messaged him, and he was like, yeah, who would bother to fake it? And I'm like, oh my God. And I just went into this little spiel, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even remember what I all said, but I'm sure I was like such a dork about it. But yeah, it was hilarious still. And he, you know what though? He still stayed in touch, and that's amazing. Like, I would randomly send messages here and there, and he would respond to everyone, and he still does it. Like, I still bug him to this day. He still has no problem messaging back and actually talking to you, and that's huge. Like, that's just, I don't know, that's huge to me.
He's tagged and shared some stuff with all of us, and he does stay in touch, and that is amazing. And, when we had Andras on, he asked Paige and I, because all three of us, I think we can all agree that Rick is pretty hot. But he asked us, like, what is it about all these girls who have this crush on Rick? And, we've all had an interaction with Andras, and he said that he put himself into the character. So, like, what do you think it is about Rick, and do you see the Rickness in Andras when you've had the opportunity to speak with him? Like, what do you think? He's like, is he a bad boy? Like, what is it?
You know what? It is funny that you bring that up because, like I said, that was the first podcast I listened to with you guys, was that one, right? Because I said I just learned about Elm Street Radio, and I'm like, oh my God, well, they got one of my favorite people on ever, so let's listen. And I was like literally talking to you guys while I was listening. I was like, oh, I can answer this. It was so ridiculous, but you guys really hit the nail on the head, I think. Besides the fact that he has the edge. It's not that he's a bad boy. It's just he has that bad boy image. And there's a difference, okay? You can have a bad boy image and not be a bad boy. You know what I mean? You could be a jock and be a bad boy. Like, you're a jerk. You're like, oh, I don't need anybody. I don't need you, blah, 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 and mistreat you. So that's the difference there, is he has that image. Like, I think you mentioned, Diandra, like the spiky hair, and he listens to the loud music in his garage, and he's like, doing his kick butt karate. And then you just kind of get like a deeper sensitivity. Like, I almost looked at him as like, you know what? I can imagine Rick being a poet, like a closet poet. I don't know why. Like, he just, you know what I mean? Like, he seems kind of like he'd be in his room, right? And like just casually writing poetry to Kristen, or you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just,
I have that vision in my head now.
It is. It's, it's like he's like a whole package wrapped into one, right? Like the bad boy, but he's sensitive but he's protective. Like, I love that you guys brought that up too, because I completely agree with that. Like, I have 4 brothers and they're all pretty protective. And so I think I kind of that's a huge quality for me, is protectiveness. And he does, like, you can tell, like, he cares so much about his girlfriend and he cares so much about his sister. And they got such a cool bond too. The sister-brother bond's very cool there with Rick and Alice. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a Rick thing. I don't know.
It's a Rick thing. I was just going to say that. That's a new shirt. I hope you realize, and he's going to probably listen to this and laugh, but because we talked about him, he's going to get a private message that says, "Hey, Andras, we had your girl Brittany on, and we have a great idea for a shirt, but to find out what it is, you have to listen to the show."
Yes, do it. Because I was just saying, I actually literally just commented, because of my Taryn shirt, I was like, I need a Rick Johnson shirt ASAP. And I tried to look for one, but I can't find one. So somebody somewhere has to make one.
I think that the 3 of us, design one together. And I think that we should put it out. There's not enough Nightmare merch. There's a lot of, like, Freddy merch. There's a lot of, like, standard Nightmare logo merch, but there's not a lot of, like, the other characters. I think that's why so many people flip out when they see shirts of, like, Jennifer's head through a TV, or the Taryn shirt that you have, which I was gonna ask you about later on. But that shirt is so amazing that you just posted. But, like, there's not a whole lot of merch, so I completely get on it.
Yes, completely 1000% agree with you. Like, when I'm looking for stuff, like, I think obviously we can all agree, and we've kind of talked about, one of the things that stands out from Nightmare is the characters, right? It's not just Freddy, it's the characters. Everybody can relate. Throughout the whole series, we all have one or multiple characters that we can relate to. And when I'm searching for this stuff, I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, seriously, you don't have this shirt, you don't have that. And I seen that Taryn shirt like 2 months ago, and I'd been eyeing it, and I'm like, I need to order it. And I just, for whatever reason, just kept, I was like, oh, I'll order it tomorrow. And I never did. That's from redbubble.com. And they got a lot of cool stuff, guys. They got a lot of cool Nightmare on Elm Street shirts and horror shirts in general. But, that was from, I think, artists. Like, those are images by different artists from all around the world. And, they make them into, like, shirts and into, I'm trying to think what else they have. They have all kinds of stuff. They had some cool Nancy shirts, though, too. They did. I almost tagged with Diandra, but I didn't. But, yeah, you should, that's where I got that shirt at. And so, yeah, I did. I looked for a Rick shirt, and I'm like, gosh, damn it. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that or not, but.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, you can. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was thinking
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I love this. See, this is why I love Elm Street Radio, because it's like you get to have just talking time with people. That's just basically what this is just hearing people's stories, sharing information, like just really trying to have a heart to heart. Because going back to like what you guys were talking about earlier, it's true. I'm going to say it right now. I mean, so I'm not also in any of the other fandoms, but I do not see the type of passion or attention to trying to do something to further the fandom like I do with A Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, this is electric. It is, and that's why I think, pardon me for plugging FredHead in here, but no, not pardon me. But that poster writing on the wall, that's like the FredHeads. They're like, here we are, world. Excuse me, pardon me. We're going to come around here in our really flamboyant costumes, in our t-shirts, and we're going to make stuff, and we're going to be everywhere, and we're going to put out books and documentaries and all this stuff to show our passion. We're going to be in your face because we're all in a way like Freddy Krueger. Everybody else doesn't talk, but here we are. We're like, blah, 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 blah. And we just...
Right.
We're loud, proud, and in your face, and sometimes we spray paint on boiler room walls because that's what FredHeads do.
Exactly.
I was actually going to say something about FredHeads too. I was going to say, Paige, what an excellent to help with crowdfunding would be to introduce something like that. Like look into making custom shirts for different Elm Street characters. You know what I mean? Like stuff that you can't get on at Hot Topic, or you can't get it. You know what I mean? Like
it's funny that you mentioned that. I swear this.
Why? Because you already got something in mind, don't you? I knew you did.
I like the idea has been tossed around. One of the to shamelessly plug our project, because if you guys don't know, Brittany's a part of it too. She appears in the documentary. Not to shamelessly plug it or anything, but one of the cool fun things that we're going to be doing with crowdfunding is we're going to be announcing different perks every couple of days for the next 2 months. And so there's a lot of talk right now. Diandra can even tell you there's in our group message, there's a lot of different talks of different things that we want to do and add to the perks. And one of the things is t-shirts. So right now everybody's kind of, bouncing ideas for different t-shirts and coming up with different things. And I definitely think, maybe we should create a Rick thing. It's a Rick thing.
Yes, please. Please.
I think that the three of us need to culminate, because we're the biggest Rick fans ever. We're his fan club.
Right.
The Rickettes instead of the Rockettes. The Rickettes.
That's another t-shirt. But I think we should definitely come up with a t-shirt.
Here's a question. Would you be able to use his face, or would you just be able to do
let's just do his butt.
I second that.
I'd wear that.
We should make spiky hair wigs and give those away as a crowdfunding
with the bandana across them.
Yeah. That would be excellent. If you can't use his face for copyright reasons or whatever, you should do just a silhouette of black spiky hair and put it's a Rick
thing.
Okay, we're gonna stop talking about this. We don't want someone else to create
don't frickin' steal our idea, or we'll find you and talk you to death.
So we'll have this on record, okay?
On Elm Street Radio 2018.
Copyright.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's so exciting, guys. I'm so happy for you guys. This is so amazing. This is coming together, and I don't know if it's funny that we're talking about this, because I don't know if you've seen Mick Strawn's comment on my live video about a Freddy vortex. he's we're opening up this new Freddy vortex or something, and I'm like, oh my god, that's actually really cool. Yeah, he's never gonna die. We'll just be passing this on from generation to generation, and yeah, Freddy will never die.
The goal.
What does it say? He said, "I am eternal." So Freddy Krueger's not wrong. That is for sure. That is for sure. Well, Brittany, I know it's getting late, and you've got tons of wonderful things to do and that we have looking forward to. So are you going to any conventions in the near future? Where might we find you?
I really want to make it to Horror Hound in March. So I'm planning on that, hopefully. And then after that, I'm kind of just going to wing it. Like I said, I think Indy. Days of the Dead is doing a Nightmare, right?
Wink, wink. You should totally go. Nudge, nudge. You should totally go.
Nonchalantly, we're just edging you there. Let's all meet up there.
Yeah. I really want to go to that. I just caught wind of that, and from there, I don't know. I guess we'll kind of play it from here.
To infinity and beyond. Well. Thank you so much for coming on, Brittany. Thank you so much for taking the time to enter the Elm Street Radio costume contest. And just thanks for being awesome, and just always so wonderful.
Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you for having me on. Seriously, this was a lot of fun, and it went by so quick. So thank you
much fun.
again.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Diandra to be the thank you for being a friend because we both love Golden Girls so much.
Oh my God.
Oh, Golden Girl, hell yeah! I watched that with my mom, man. That was my mom's show, so I feel you there.
I feel like we need to end with singing that song. I'll give it. I'll count down from 3, and we could sing it. I don't know if anybody else knows the lyrics here.
Oh, I know. Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. Do-do-do-do. Thank you for being a friend. Your heart is true. You're a pet.
You're a pet. Or in a confidant, right?
Bum,
Yes.
bum, bum. And
love
if
it.
you threw a party, okay. Well, this is Elm Street Radio, not...
You can start doing karaoke.
Yes. Oh, my
On air.
God. That's going to be an extra in FredHead's page.
There you go.
Thank you for being a FredHead.
Love it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thanks so much again, Brittany. We love you very, very much.
Oh, I love you guys.
Bye.
I'm like, did it cut off? Oh, sorry.
And
It's like a technical difficulty. But no, thank you so much for coming on. We're like so thankful, for you. I'm thankful to have you.
Well, thank you guys. Seriously, this is so much fun. I'm so excited. So I'm still excited about it.